Hello and welcome to Digital Escapism, episode 9. The episode where Jack has finally been released from his mum's clutches and she's driven the minivan away from our office.
Yep.
Welcome back, my friend. It's good to see you.
Thank you. The thing about Easter eggs is that they are there for the entirety of Easter.
They're sacred.
It doesn't matter if you eat them all before breakfast. It doesn't matter if you cover yourself in Easter egg, Cadbury's cream eggs and
rub it on your nipples
before like 8 a.m. Okay, if they're there for you, they're there for you. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, there's
people
something
got to stop you sounding such uptight.
There's something very sexual about chocolate. I think you've always said that to me.
Yep, always have.
Moving on swiftly. Welcome to episode 9, guys. Around the table, I've got obviously myself. I've got my colleague, Mr. Folkard Jack here.
Hello.
I've got Tom Pryor.
Hiya.
I've got Mr. Chesney Joe.
Hello.
And Mr. Horton Chris.
Howdy.
And make sure you check out our website, digitalescapism.co.uk. You check out our Twitter, DE_podcast. You can also now find us on Instagram, where myself and Jack will be sharing various pictures of ourselves in states of undress. And if you're really interested, head over to iTunes, make sure you review us, give us a little bit of feedback, and make sure you subscribe with those buttons.
Or head over to our MySpace page, which has got all the coolest stuff on it.
Yeah, maybe don't though, because MySpace died a few years ago, so we definitely don't have a MySpace page.
Shit.
I mean, if you don't. Also, on that same vein, don't go and Google our names and look at our MySpace pages because we won't look as cool as we do now.
What have I been uploading? If not,
maybe if you looked at my hair today, it probably looked like I do have a MySpace page. I've got a bit of a quiff going on. So we've got a news episode today, so there are quite a lot of topics that we want to talk about. So the first one I want to chat about is, did any of you guys catch the Last Jedi trailer?
yes.
What were your thoughts?
I thought it was very mediocre.
You think
and
so?
that is really good for me because I'm sick and tired of films telling you everything in the actual trailer.
That's true.
I am going to see this film. You do not need to tell me everything that happens in the movie. Okay? There are so many films that I've gone to see that I've seen the trailer for, which shows you all the best bits.
Yeah.
So this Star Wars trailer, people have said, "Oh yeah, it's not." I've heard people say to me that it's not really that interesting. I don't care. I'm gonna see it. The fact that the trailer maybe not have all the best bits in it is probably going to be the best thing for me.
I mean, the reason I wanted to bring it up, because I think quite clearly we're building to a crescendo now where these are going to be sort of very clearly marketed to games quite shortly. So I'm just wondering, with regards to the story, do you think it's going to adapt quite well into being able to be a game if they do that?
Yes. Well, that's the thing. It's like,
I mean,
it doesn't
clearly,
matter.
we're talking about Disney here. There's going to be a game for these films, undoubtedly.
That's the thing. It doesn't matter how easily adaptable it is. When they see how much money it's going to be making, they're going to be like, well, let's make a video game like that. Because, well, how are we going to do that? Because I don't care. Just do it because I want tons more money.
Do you think that'll happen, though? Because I personally, I don't see them making a game based on the film.
I think there'll be something loosely based around it. I think they'd be mad not to market a game with all the new fans and children that are growing up now that have PlayStations and Xboxes and PCs.
Yeah, you say that, but I mean,
market.
There is a big market, but I mean, they haven't really been one in the past. Like when you look at all the Marvel stuff, granted, there are a couple of Marvel games or whatever, but I don't know, they haven't cashed in on it. When they do that, they normally take the IP or the character or whatever, but then they pull it out of, they do a completely different story rather than something based around the movie. That's what I feel.
I think they're crying out for a game. I mean, Knights of the Old Republic was probably one of my favourite Star Wars games.
Yeah.
You haven't seen a new iteration for that come in, and I feel like there's a big refresh due for a game like that. There's also probably a big hole for a narrative-driven Star Wars game. I mean, I know we're going to chat about some other Star Wars games that are upcoming, but they don't really tend to have a great sort of story that links with the whole, films that are out at the moment.
I just think there's when you look into it, there's quite a lot of Star Wars games in development at the moment, so I would be surprised to see one that was directly linked to the film.
Lego Star Wars.
I want a Grand Theft Auto Star Wars where you go around like selling death sticks to people and like
Jar Jar Binks is hooked on crack.
Well, that's the Star Wars equivalent to drugs, is death sticks. Which
Ooh, Misa Susdown!
Actually, that would be fantastic.
Okay, we're talking about another game that is coming out, that is based off a film, so there you go, like a nice link there. Friday the 13th, that is due out at this current point, May the 26th. I haven't read anything to say that's otherwise. Now, I actually think this looks like a pretty cool game. I mean, have you guys checked out much of it? Have you seen the trailer?
I love the premise of it.
Yeah.
The whole idea.
I've got no idea what it is. What is it?
It's basically this game where it's, I believe it's 4 players versus 1. Am I correct?
So one of you is playing as
Jason Voorhees.
Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. And there are 4 other people that are playing that are trying to like basically escape and hide from him.
Sorry, Greg. Do you know what Friday the 13th is?
It's a horror film?
Yeah.
I've not seen it.
He's not seen it.
You know the guy with the hockey mask?
It's too popular.
Not
Greg.
Scream, the one with the hockey
one.
mask with
I
the
thought
red
that
on
was
it.
Chainsaw fella.
No.
That's not Texas Chainsaw.
He's really
No.
tall and he has like a machete most of the time.
right.
And in some films he has a
I
pillowcase.
thought it was called
Slender Man.
Halloween, isn't it? Isn't it not called Halloween?
What's called Halloween?
The film with Jason Voorhees.
No,
No.
that's
No.
Michael Myers.
That's Michael
That's
Myers.
Michael Myers.
Right.
You idiot.
You fucking noob.
So what happened is
Shut up, Joe.
he lost at hockey and went a little bit rogue then?
It's I don't know. I'm surprised you haven't seen the film. I mean, I can't really,
It's too popular. It's too popular for him to
We
watch
can't
it.
give you a detailed.
No, I
it's a
just wanna know
slasher.
why he's
It's,
wearing a
you know,
hockey
from
mask.
that era where there's loads of slasher
Yeah,
films.
yeah. So he lost at hockey, he went high and his wife was cheating on him.
Let me give you a brief rundown real quick. Basically, this little boy was, I think, disfigured. He went to camp and he ended up drowning and being killed.
Yep.
And the first film is Jason Voorhees coming back to life.
Voorhees. That's the porn version.
Jason Voorhees coming along and killing people, although it turns out not to be Jason Voorhees, it was Jason Voorhees' mum all along. Bum, bum, bum.
Like your
Bum,
mum.
bum,
I know,
bum.
like my mum
Spoilers.
slitting people's
Fucking
throat.
hell.
Well, the film's over 50 years old, or it's not. I don't know.
Or go fuck yourself.
And basically, it's
I was gonna
like
watch
the
it
slasher
tonight.
films where like campers are trying to survive. And the game is basically where you either play one of the 4 campers who are hiding around the camp trying to get away from Jason, or you play Jason, murk motherfuckers with his big machete.
Okay, so it's an online game.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
online game. I mean, it's going to be only online, really.
Have they showed any gameplay yet?
Yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
they
Yes,
have.
does it look exciting enough?
Do
if
you know what it
you're
reminds me
one
of?
the 4?
Left 4 Dead. Slightly with the gameplay, it kind of it has that same theme to it. Where with Left 4 Dead, but with that whole metric of you being 1 versus sort of 4 potentially. The people that are running around obviously are very low health. They're very susceptible to being damaged. They can set up traps and they can set up like certain little options, or there's objectives to complete. Okay. You're running around as Jason, and you're super powered. So you've got sort of like, I suppose Evolve is another one where it kind of calls into those sorts of things. But it's certainly lost on you if you've not seen the film trying to explain the whole concept. But I think it looked good. What do you think, Chris?
I think it looks cool. Yeah, I really like the idea. I mean, just to like give you an example, like it's just your basic sort of like teenage slasher thing. Like even there's a group of teenagers and they're in danger because this guy's walking around.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's I think it sounds great. I mean, I've been looking into it actually, and apparently the latest update, because I think it's on early access at the minute on PC, and the latest update they took out, or they gave Jason another ability, which was something that the community was feeding back on. A problem that they had with the game is basically that your character projects like a zone around them, and invisible, you can't see it obviously, but it projects like a zone around them, and whenever Jason's within a certain distance of you, music would start playing.
Oh, that's cool. Get you all pumped up.
And it would fade in, obviously, like the closer he's getting. But the problem was, and this was in terms of feedback, it was fed back from players playing as the teenagers rather than people playing as Jason moaning about it. But they were saying that basically after a while you lose that element of fear, because as soon as the music starts playing, okay, right, so before that you might have been playing quite risky. There's no music, I can rummage around, I can walk, I'm not looking around corners because I know he's not around. Then when the music comes on, he's around, so it's like, okay, right,
it's
now
like
it's
a
time to
marker,
hide, lay low. And people didn't like that. They thought they should have been playing like that all the time. So basically what they've done is they've done a compromise where as part of the update they've given Jason an ability to basically turn off this music for the players so that he can really sort of sneak up on you.
Good option.
And it's really clever the way that it works as well, because if you activate it...
That's a clever way of actually doing it, really.
It is, yeah. And if you activate it and you move, the ability won't last very long at all. It will only last like a few seconds. But if you activate it and stay completely still, it will last for 3 minutes. So I guess it's kind of based around the idea of waiting and hiding and waiting for them to come to you.
It's quite cool.
But
It sounds like it'll be a fun game.
I think it will be, yeah, and I think it'll get your heart pounding as well, you know.
It's got some strange names. So, I mean, this is running on the Unreal Engine. It's going to be cross-platform, so PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows. But the publisher is Gun Media. Has anyone heard of them? I've not heard of them.
No, I haven't, no.
So it's Gun Media and 3Phonic. So it'll be interesting to see what they're like, because I've not heard of any games that they've done previously. So, but the biggest travesty is, when do you think they're releasing the game? So we've said May 26th. Is it a Friday? It's not.
No.
Do you not think they're missing a trick?
Well,
like, you don't have to release it on Friday the 13th, but it would have been good for it to come out on Friday.
yeah, I guess so.
Or
yeah.
Halloween.
Or a little bit of planning. Yeah, Halloween's around the corner, man.
Or I guess they're waiting to release Halloween for that game.
I
Mike
think-
Myers.
Yeah.
I guess if something like that
Shut up,
can
Joe.
happen and it's a happy coincidence, you know, they might have gone for it. But I think, in terms of getting the game out, I think you just got to get it out when it's ready.
I mean, that would have been nice, but I think it's done, so let's just get it out there. Let's make the money off this bad boy.
Yeah.
I think it looks fun. All right,
I want to check it out. I
Can
want to
you
see what it's like.
Answer me a question.
Of course I can. Anything for you.
Can you tell me, is it coming out on all platforms at the same time?
Probably not. I'd be surprised if it even comes out on console. Is it coming out on console?
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows. I don't know if it will be at the same time. I would imagine that you would see at least PlayStation 4 and Xbox One at the same time.
Then why did you just tell me you could answer my question? I mean, this is just unacceptable.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, Greg.
I'll write you a handwritten apology
No,
and
that's
deliver
cool.
it to
No.
your house.
I just wondered because normally
No, it doesn't say here, to be honest with you. The information I've got, it doesn't say.
that's
at the
fair
moment.
enough, mate. I only wondered because normally with these things
You have to wait a
going
little
in
bit longer
early
for a
access,
PC.
yeah, the PC gets
Yeah.
it, doesn't it, and then it eventually makes its way to consoles.
Of course they do. PC scrubs. Oh, sorry, I'm only joking. We like you PC people.
I don't. I hate people on PC.
Right, rumour time. Rumour mill. There is a SNES mini rumour that is gaining traction out there on the internet. What are your thoughts about that? Do you want to see a
Definitely
SNES
getting
mini?
it. Yeah. I got the NES Mini, and I'm really looking forward to Christmas because I'm going to sell that on eBay and really jack up the price and really rip people off and take them for all they're worth. But yeah, I think they're missing a trick if they didn't get the SNES Mini out. But there are some arguments for and against it, because obviously the SNES, or at least for me, I felt had some of the best games that Nintendo ever released.
No way.
Well, over the NES.
Oh, sorry, I heard you wrong. I thought you said the NES had some of the better games.
Yeah,
I was gonna say the SNES was the much better console.
The Super
yeah.
Nintendo is a much better console,
course
has
it
much
was.
better games.
Yeah.
So I think they'd be missing a trick if they didn't do that,
Oh,
considering how
100%.
successful the NES Micro was. But also, on the Switch, at some point they're going to be releasing the Virtual Console.
Oh, right.
So they're going to sell that. So I'm worried that they might not do it. I don't know, because I've not read the news. I don't know if it's 100% guaranteed, because I'm worried they might consider it splitting the market.
Okay.
And that's what I've heard some people say, and I said I don't think it will happen because it would potentially split the market from them selling the SNES or the Super Nintendo Mini and then selling those same games on the Nintendo Virtual Market.
I don't think it will, though, because one's a handheld and one quite clearly is something that just helps you relive a past and get something plugged up to your TV.
Here's the thing, I also don't think so, but that's not the reason why. Why I don't think so is because you can get those miniature consoles everywhere already, filled jam-packed for the games.
Yeah, you can.
And I think that they're listen, people are going to buy rubbish versions of these, we might as well sell ours and make some money off of it for the Christmas time or for whenever it's going to be released. So I think they probably are going to do it, and it's probably going to be a really cool system, and it's probably going to get pre-order it out. It's probably not going to sell that many, and they're going to jack up the price on eBay for them. Cause
It seemed very uncertain, their reasons behind the development of that, because they cut short the production of the console, or however I suppose the mini console. They cut short the production of it really, really early on, and then created almost a frenzy with people.
What, the NES Micro? Yeah.
Yeah, and they created a frenzy with people wanting to buy the mini console and not find a version of it, and then that in turn, which we were saying earlier, just created an absolute clusterfuck on eBay where people were ridiculously pricing up for £400. It is absolute craziness. So I don't know what their marketing reasons behind it, because clearly they were selling it quicker than they could make it. So I I mean, I've read online that some people have said, oh, it's because people have worked out how to crack them, and then you've got something that's made by Nintendo, but you crack into it and you add in extra games. I don't, and then they've said, well, when they do the SNES Mini, they'll put more security in it, but people will still crack it. I mean, it's not rocket science. You've got a bunch of really intelligent people out there, and you've got thriving communities online where people are dedicated to hacking into things, because there are just a community of people out there that just love to take things apart and see how they work and mod them and stuff like that. It's been happening for years with the Game Boys, so it is a strange one. I'd like to see it, because I'm not saying that I wasn't tempted to get a NES, but I wasn't really like, I need to get it. But however, SNES, to me, I've got a lot more fonder memories.
Yeah. So,
Metroid, I would be quite sort of keen to pick that up, I think. So I'm hoping that it does come out. I'm hoping that it is a thing.
yeah, I'm on eBay. They're only going for about 200 quid.
Oh,
at the
only?
moment. Yeah. There's one here that's £190. It's selling the NES Micro, but it's also selling a Super Mario Easter egg. Chocolate Easter egg.
Right. Okay, so you can get that along that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bargain.
That's a fantastic
How much
package
were
deal.
they in the UK when they come out, Jack? How much did you pay for yours?
I paid £34 £34 on Shop 2, I think, I believe.
£34 on Shop
34
2.
or 40, something
And
along
now
those
it's
lines.
what, £200?
Yeah.
But you get an Easter egg, so it's all good. I
With
mean,
that
that's
one,
value
you
for
do. This
money.
one's 200 quid without the Easter egg.
Oh, that's a rip-off there.
I know. I wouldn't get one without an Easter egg. I'm not a fucking mug.
Right, so
You're not going to ask me if I'm going to get one?
are you going to get one?
No.
No, of course it's fucking not.
Of course I fucking didn't, because I never had one when I was a kid. I had Sega, PlayStation, proper games, so I ain't going to go and get that shit, am I?
I heard you were locked in the basement as a child and forced
You had-
to watch WWE, and that's why you've got an obsession with it.
So when the NES, the Super Nintendo came out, you had your PlayStation.
I think I had my Sega
Oh,
and a
okay.
PC. playing video games.
Sega.
Shit.
Oh,
Hated
this,
Sonic.
I'm not even going to add fuel to his fire. It was good. It was a good console, and you should probably get it and enjoy it. But
It's not your soft. Link's a girl.
No, I just really hope that the Super
God's
Nintendo
sake.
comes with virtual reality support.
Even
Otherwise, I'm
sounds
not
shit
getting it.
SNES. Sounds like a fucking
SNES.
hoagie.
It's
SNES.
Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
it sounds like a high-end kitchen thing, like SNES.
Anything that has to put
SNES.
super in the name.
What was your
NES.
favourite game on the
On
Sega?
the Sega? I really like DuckTales. Do you remember the ones playing as Donald Duck going through the little tombs and
No, because I
stuff?
was playing good games on the
Yeah, it
Super
was
Nintendo.
shit.
No,
Right.
go fuck yourself, Richard. Come on, man. You weren't playing Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion.
No,
You weren't playing
yeah, I
Super
was.
Monaco
I did
GP.
play
You weren't playing Road Rash.
Super,
You was
that
just
Super
pretending to
Mario
be a
game
fucking plumber.
was on the NES, and no, I was pretending to be Link, saviour of time and space, and Master Sword wielder of Hyrule. So go fuck yourself.
All right, ladies, calm yourselves down. Right,
Yeah,
Prey.
swimming club is upstairs. Everyone stop swearing.
Yeah,
Including-
guys, watch out for that swimming club. Prey. First look. Jack, come on, you want to say something about this. What are you thinking about Prey? I mean, there's been a lot...
Obviously, everyone knows how I feel about it from the last podcast, where I linked it to being a cup simulator, so you can transform into a cup and roll around the map.
Have you watched
But-
any of the, any of the people, the press releases, the things that
I've
Bethesda
watched-
are putting out?
I've watched some new stuff about
Okay.
it, and apparently you can recycle everything, which is this new video they released where you can recycle
Why
everything.
did they do that?
Yeah, I know. Here's the thing: you've got a weapon that's like creates a miniature black hole that sucks all things into it, and then like causes them to become like these little cubes, and you can do things with these cubes. It's really stupid, and I hate this game, and I hate it for taking a while. I've not played the game. It's coming out. I'm sure it'll be very fun, but deep in my heart, I hate it because it's preventing me from being my badass like gunslinging bounty hunter that of the intergalactic stars of which I wanted to be originally.
Do you know what makes me laugh is
So I can't
Prey,
help but be bitter.
Prey is everything but Prey in 2006,
I know.
isn't it? Why? We had this argument a while ago, but why just keep the same name?
Oh, I don't know, man. I would if they just called it a different name, I wouldn't be here slagging it off, saying I hate them. But who's doing it? Is it Bethesda? Did you
Well,
say Bethesda
It's
are doing it?
Arcane that they've got the version that you wanted, the Bounty Hunter version. I can't remember who was working on that, but that studio is no longer working on it. It's gone to Arcane Studios, which you might remember from Dishonored.
Dishonored,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Bethesda Softworks has been doing nothing but sharing Prey
Because they're worried.
exclusively on their Instagram and doing live demos of Prey game and stuff like that and reposting. So there's obviously got to be some sort of link there with Bethesda Softworks. I don't know what.
Oh
link.
yeah, they're publishing it.
They're publishing it.
Yeah.
There we go. So that will be why then. So they're promoting the shit out of it at the moment.
I'm gonna get this game. I'm gonna get it. And I'm
What,
gonna
just
review
to moan
it and I'm
about
gonna
it?
Trade it in. Yeah. I do that. I buy stuff just to moan about it all the time.
You're
That's
so-
why I hang out with you.
You're so aggressive today. It's
I
like
don't
you've
mean to be.
woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
You're quite right. Bringing this topic up is just a bit of a sore point for me.
Do you think it's kind of it's going to be like Doom sort of thing, like like sort of in space, fast paced? Do you think they're just losing all elements of trajectory and storyline, and it's just
we'll
gonna
find out. I mean, I don't want to slag it off too much. I am disappointed, but I don't want to slag it off too much until I play the game, because I'm a firm believer that you can't really say a game's going to be awful, although I've got a strong feeling this is going to be awful, until you've actually put boots on the ground, got your mitts around the controller and felt the vibrations yourself. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to be.
There's something I want to add in for Chris here as well. Chris will like this because I know he likes a bit more of a tidbit, a bit more information. You won't see many reviews about this because Bethesda has a reviews policy. I don't know if you know that they've updated this recently.
Oh, what, that they won't give out copies of the game until it's released?
They will give a review a copy now a day before release to critics and journalists, no matter how big you are. So, I mean, we're not going to get a copy because they don't even know who we are. But, like, if we were Kotaku or IGN, we're still not going to get a copy until the day before release.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I know that it's a wider subject, but I always like your opinion on these sorts of things. So
I don't know. I don't like the fact that Bethesda is doing it, and I'll tell you why. Because that then sets a precedence. The thing is like, a lot of the times when this happens, it's like, there's a reason they do it. They're not confident in their product. There's a game-breaking glitch in there. Something's not as it should be. That's normally why they do it. The fact that Bethesda's going to do it, or start doing it now, and their games are normally good, that kind of means that everyone has now got free reign to do it. And I don't know. I like the fact that, if it's a good game and you're confident in your game, let people review it, let people at it, because it's only going to... But that's the thing, isn't it? That's what they're worried about, and that's why it's always troubling when games go down this route.
And this is when you see reviews and they say review ongoing, review in progress.
Yeah, review in progress,
because these guys just can't commit the man hours to be able to just burn through a game and then also commit the time to then reviewing it as quick as possible.
Yeah.
So now you're starting to see a game that you can go out and buy, and you still don't realistically know if this is a good or a bad or an indifferent game based on what maybe some of the critics are saying that you trust or follow.
Yeah.
So you're going out on a whim and buying it, and then you're then 2 weeks later deciding that you didn't like the game, No Man's Sky, and then the reviews start coming out saying it's lacking.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a great idea. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction to some negative publicity that people have got. But then Bethesda, why would they do this? I mean, they're probably one of my most respected studios for terms of the games that they publish, and it's just disappointing to see this, overarching control. It's like, Nintendo with their policy and stuff like that. I don't like it when they get this involved.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one as well. I just think that the thing is like, a lot of the times, when you're looking at a game, you look at it and you decide whether you're interested or not. And to be honest with you, with this game, it hasn't tickled me. It hasn't hit the right spot. Do you know what I mean? Like, so to be honest with you, it's not good that there's not a review out, because if a week before or a few days before a review dropped and it got good scores, then my interest would peak. At the moment, I'm not interested. So
I'm gonna cheer you up now, and also something that Tom will be able to say that he likes. We just got a remastered version of Full Throttle.
Oh, yes, we did.
A good Tim Schafer game. Has he made a bad game with a story-driven narrative? I don't think he has.
No. I mean, a lot of his games are all, they all have similar atmosphere. They've all got good humour. And Full Throttle, for me personally, that was one of my favourites growing up as a kid. I mean, Tom will tell you that I've had my avatar on PlayStation has been the main character of that for a good few years now, well before this remaster was
it as well.
announced. And it was always one of my favourite ones growing up as a kid, because it had just a little bit more attitude than the other ones, a little less humour. It was a bit more serious, and the characters aren't to be taken lightly, and I just had a real affinity for it as a kid. I mean, bearing in mind when I played it when it came out, which I think was like 1995 or 96, somewhere around that, and I would have only been 6 or 7 at the time. And yeah, I love this game so much. So to have the remaster come out and be able to relive it again is fantastic. The only thing I will say is them games where they're quite rigid in their structure, that point and click adventure, and obviously playing it loads and loads as a kid. I knew exactly what to do, so I
Yeah.
literally burnt through the whole game in about like
What did you like about it when you
2
originally
or 3
played it?
hours. I love the story, I love the atmosphere, and I love the attitude. I love the world. Like,
What's the beginning story to it? What's sort of the entrance point?
so the entrance point is there's two guys driving down a road on their way to like a business meeting, and they own this company called Corley Motors, which is kind of like the real world equivalent of like Harley Davidson, if you like, right? They make motorbikes in a world where wheels on the ground are dying out, so you know a lot of cars about are hover cars and things like that. So, but this company is the last company still making bikes with like wheels on the ground sort of thing. So they're kind of like sacred in the same way Harley Davidson is held in high regard.
That depends who you talk to
Well,
about bikes.
yeah,
Some
exactly,
people call
yeah,
it a poser
yeah.
bike, but I see what you're saying.
As a generic
Yeah.
normal person, like looking from the outside. So yeah, so basically
Not a pedal bike.
one of the guys owns the company and is the real spirit and soul behind making and producing these awesome bikes, and the other one is basically like up there with him, but he's like a bit of an arsehole and he's just looking to take over the company basically. And that's where it all begins, you know. It begins in a bar, and you're part of this biker gang. You're the head leader of this biker gang, and you get a proposition. They want you to drive them to the conference, because if they turn up with a crew of real bikers, you know, it'll give them credibility and shares will increase and all that. And that's where it starts, basically. And you get fucked over right at the beginning. Your gang think that you've agreed to it, and drive off and escort this person, where actually you've been hit over the head with a 2x4 and put in a dumpster out the back. And that's where you start the game. You know, you're trying to save your gang, because you hear that, you know, it's all an ambush and something and seedy's going on, and that story then develops into a bigger sort of conspiracy, and it's just good fun.
You'll like it, Jack. This is, you know, your classic LucasArts era, Tim Schafer, point-and-click adventure.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I never played any point-and-click adventures.
I think you
Really?
really
I
enjoy
didn't
it.
have I only had a Super Nintendo, which is the only thing that we could get. We didn't really have. I didn't have a computer until I was about 15.
Hard scrub.
Go fuck yourself.
Poor kid.
Yeah, that's pretty much. But I've always kind of wanted to. But I'll have to maybe give it a
Mate,
to
honestly, if
I
I was
tried to
you-
play Grim Fandango, but I couldn't get into it.
So hard.
I liked
that was
it.
really
That
hard.
game.
I
Like,
liked it.
and to be honest with you, although it's held in high critical regard, it's probably one of my least favourite ones.
What,
from
Grim Fandango?
LucasArts, yeah, but I would highly recommend seeking out the other remasters that are out
Monkey
there at the
Island.
minute, like Monkey Island.
Maybe
1
if
and
I
2.
can get some pennies together
Mm.
and scrape like some loose change out of my pockets,
Or
I'll
sell
maybe
that
able to
NES
afford
for
it.
Even
£200.
Day of
Maybe
the
I'll sell that
Tentacle.
SNES.
Day of the Tentacle is fantastic as well.
I just, do you know what, the visuals of it turn me off.
Really?
That's
Oh,
one of the
I
things
like
I
that
wanted to
game.
say about this, man. Just very quickly, some people have marked it down, saying that the remastered visuals aren't as good as the original visuals.
Do you know what? I did find that in some cases. Sometimes, because you can push the touchpad right in the middle, and that changes the graphics from new to old. And a lot of the time, the old graphics, they really added to the atmosphere of the game. They're a lot darker.
Yeah.
A lot darker and a lot more moody.
They soften them up and
That's
brighten
it.
them up.
Yeah.
don't
Now
they?
it's been like brightened up, and it almost looks like a cartoon or an old sort of Disney animation, something like that. So, but yeah, I did find myself thinking that, and actually the sound in some cases, although it's been brought out and cleaned up,
They
and
do a commentary
tidied up,
track though, which is always
They
a
do,
good thing
yeah.
about their remaster, because if you're someone like you that has enjoyed it and is playing for it again, you can listen to the commentary track and then talk about the way that they produced the games and
Yeah,
challenges.
yeah, and that's great, and that's all part
that's
of
really
the
quite
experience
cool.
for someone like myself who
Yeah.
knows it inside out.
There's people that carry on that tradition, like Valve do that as a tradition, where you can go around some of the levels on...
with a developer commentary on.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's a good idea. But I mean, as far as we're saying, not that we're the one-stop shop for advice, but if you've not checked it out, go and check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Go and check it out. It's a
You're-
great story.
You're in for an adventure, and it's a great ride. Honestly.
Definitely.
So great ride, classic.
Great ride. So let's move on to Battlefront 2. So big game, big announcements, big changes potentially.
Good, because it needed some changes.
And a lot learned potentially from the first one. So I want to open the floor up and see what you guys think.
Tom, did you play the first one?
I didn't know.
Oh,
I
okay.
played it in terms of the open beta.
Yeah.
and I wanted to like it. I really wanted to get into that Star Wars multiplayer world. It just felt a little bit lacking to me.
Okay.
I'm quite a pessimistic gamer anyway, so
Yeah, I know.
it shouldn't come as any surprise that I didn't like something, but I wanted to like it and I didn't. I guess I saw through it really. It looked quite light. One of my friends picked it up after release, and I went around his and played it a little bit. There appeared to be one good game mode where we was taking down the big walkers. Are they called AT-ATs, or the big striders that you can fly around and take their legs down?
They're called the horsey ones.
Cool. Oh, the horsey ones.
Yes, they're called the horsey ones.
Horsey one.
Horsey one you are.
That one seemed good, but yeah, just didn't really get on with it. So I actually skipped it. It's been in the sale so many times. I've been looking at it thinking, God, it must be pretty bare bones to be $7.99 now.
DLC was a big issue for me.
Yeah.
Well, what was the DLC issue for it?
Just too much pay to play. I like the way that they've done it with regards to Battlefield.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I like the model that I've got a premium Battlefield subscription. So, but well, I don't know. You say that. I think I've got worth out of it. But what I like the fact though, Jack, is say you wanted to come and play with me and you have Battlefront.
Yep.
Battlefield, sorry, so close together with name. And then you didn't have that add-on. They've now allowed it so that you can come in and join. Now there are things
that was only a weekend. That was only a weekend. You can't do that all the time.
Right,
I know that because I've got. I didn't get burnt by myself.
Oh my god, really? It was only for a weekend?
Yeah, one of my friends tried to join me. And
oh.
Sorry guys, I know this is up to date news, but sometimes we get things wrong.
I'm completely lacking in news. Okay, well I like the fact that they did that anyway. And all I'm saying is, with regards to this, I don't like this whole give us extra money for a new map, because I think it alienates people that maybe can't afford to give you that money.
But that's what they're doing on Battlefield.
Well, I mean, I obviously had it wrong where I thought that you had to.
Oh yeah.
You didn't have to. So my opinion's been changed. So I mean,
he now no longer likes Battlefield.
I do like it, but I don't agree with their model for DLC. I don't agree with that.
DLC is a touch issue.
I probably should have given a better example.
If we speak about DLC, we're going to be here all day.
If you want us to speak about DLC, send us some money, and we'll do an extra episode for maybe like $5.99 each or something.
Exactly.
So I'm really excited for Battlefront 2 though. So from what I can gather, they're going to be fleshing out the game a little bit more. There's going to be some more content in terms of game modes.
Jar Jar Binks is going to be there.
Jar Jar Binks. They're going to be doing classes as well, which I didn't realise was a thing that wasn't.
That was in the original ones. They used to have loads of classes, and then in this one, they kind of made it more similar to Battlefield, where you're just a generic soldier who can equip various weapons. The thing that I struggled, because when I got the beta, I really liked the beta and I had really good fun with the beta, doing the whole co-op kind of game style, and the multiplayer seemed fun. And I do think that you're right. There were very few weapons, and it didn't feel that I could really explore out what I wanted to do whilst in battle. But I really felt that the fights were one-sided. Like there would always be one side which had superior weapons. Like the Empire had those walkers, which just seemed so hard to deal with, and it just felt like if you were the rebels, you were going to get kicked about for a lot of it. And I pick up like Battlefield 1, I pick up on that, and I understand how to deal with situations. But with Battlefront, I didn't really know how to deal with things as well as I could have in Battlefield 1 and all the other Battlefields. And also changing into the heroes was really weird because all the tokens were far back from the action. So
you could learn the spawn points of them, couldn't you?
Do you know what? I hated all that as well. I thought it was so lame, running into these big holograms to basically get in the vehicle. Just fucking put the vehicle there and let me push a button to get in it. Don't put a fucking hologram there. Don't insult me. I mean, I can suspend my disbelief, but not to the point where there's shitty holograms.
Well, this is the thing, guys. They have listened to fan feedback, so they've listened. I mean, this is EA we're talking about here, so I'm expecting some deep breaths here. Bearing in mind this is EA, sorry. They have basically confirmed that it won't have a season pass, this game. So they want fans and players to be on a level playing field.
They're going to call it something else. It's going to be the same basic thing.
You sound like an episode of South Park. We've not got a season pass, we've got a schmeezen pass, and it's $49.99.
That's the thing. They're not going to not do DLC.
They'll do microtransactions, but this is a big step from EA. You've got to give people credit to listening to the community.
Wait to see what it is before I judge.
This is another thing as well. They have really improved on the mechanics and the upgradability of weapons and the ability to counteract other people's weapons and stuff like that, and looking down sights and improvements. So there's been a lot of work where they've listened to the community.
There's going to be a campaign as well, which actually looks really interesting because you're playing from the perspective of the Empire, and you see the Death Star blow up. So you're on another planet.
The campaign's a big one as well.
That looks really cool.
I think that'd be interesting.
I think that'd be really good with it. Yeah, and also with in terms of the multiplayer and getting your hero pickups, something that really excites me is that they're spanning it across the 3 call it generations. So it's not going to be limited to the new sagas. It's going to go across all 3.
All of them. Yeah, that's really good.
So you could be a hero from the original trilogy.
That's why they're saying the Gungans are going to be in it, because obviously you'll fight that battle between the
clones. Are they going to do the Clone Wars stuff?
Yeah, they're doing.
Everything's in it. So imagine
Darth Maul?
There's going to be Darth Maul's one of the main villains. Yeah. So
Darth Maul was good.
I feel like it's going to be this real jam-packed experience.
I hope it
is. I'm actually really excited for it, even though I never played the first one and I thought it looked crap.
I hope it's got young Anakin, like this boy.
I was never really interested in like the first sort of one that much. Like I've said, I've just sort of like ground on it a bit, and I did play it, and to me it just felt really benign. Like without that class system, without having sort of
really
defined
lacking
roles,
some meat in the bones, wasn't it?
Exactly
I think
that.
Something to grab you.
Without them defined roles, it literally felt benign in terms of like it was just your standard fast-paced team deathmatch, and that was what you was getting. That was and
it felt like a large-scale Call of Duty.
Yeah, but I feel like. See, this is the funny thing, isn't it? Because everyone thought it was just going to be a Battlefield reskin, whereas now, looking back at it, I would have been happier with that.
Yeah.
I would be happy if the Battlefront 2 is a Battlefield 1 reskin. I would be happy with that.
Yeah, Battlefield 1 plays
because Battlefield 1's so fucking good.
How nice was that Battlefront menu, by the way? Just in terms of like. I really appreciate the effort they went to, and Battlefield 1's got that same gorgeous menu system as well.
So it's good, right,
So that's releasing like November by the looks of it.
Nice little Christmas game for us all to
play. November 9th, there will be EA Access and Origin Access members with a play first trial. So I'm sure we'll try and get involved as a podcast so that we can give you guys a bit of a heads up ahead of the actual release, which is November 14th if you pre-order it. There are some bonuses for pre-ordering, even just a standard edition though, so I will chuck that in, but it's certainly something we're going to cover again in a bit more detail as stuff starts to leak down for that.
Maybe we can do some live playing. That'd be fun.
Yeah, maybe we can. So next up we've got Call of Duty World War 2.
Bang, bang, bang. Yes! So excited, so happy.
Okay, so
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic I think is a very good term of phrase, and I think I'm going to join you in that sentiment.
I'm balls deep. I can't wait. So ready for this.
Deep. So there's going to be a live stream. So at the moment we're recording Sunday, the 23rd. So
23rd.
By the time this episode airs, I believe the live stream is on that Wednesday, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
Tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm a liar.
When you listen to this, the live stream will be tonight.
So what we'll try and do is we'll try and get some sort of live reactions out from us. We'll try and get something up on the website and we'll watch that live and feed back to you. But I think we're probably all quite excited to see this live stream on Wednesday and see what they've got to give us. I suppose the big question to say is, what are we hoping that they do with World War II that they've dropped the ball previous
Tom,
titles?
You really want to talk about this?
Tom, you want to talk about it.
Sitting in the mic so close. Here's what we know. They have said that they are going to be returning to their roots, and by that I'm interpreting it as they are going to be back to the sort of boots on ground gameplay.
Okay.
Obviously, they're set in World War II. You can't be wall running and double jumping, which is where I believe they lost us over the years. So we're going to be a return to form, really. And who can argue that when Call of Duty, now that formula, they, for me, are the best in the business at it. And
originally they were. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
For me, that's right. So we know it's going to be a return to that. I mean, let's just close our eyes and imagine World War II in this gorgeous 4K graphics and all of them famous battles and Normandy landing and so on and so forth. So hopefully it's going to be a revisiting of them areas on the current generation.
So is that what you're hoping for? A really basic, pulled back type of game?
Yeah,
with
so two
really
or three
full on World War II.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, so I'm hoping for a couple of guns per class. Really having to outmaneuver your opponent, maybe using the buildings as cover. World at War was one of my favourite multiplayer games, and I'm hoping it's an updated version of that. I guess would be how I'm imagining it at the moment.
Okay. I will say this, that my granddad was in World War II and he did have wall running when he was there.
Did he have a jetpack as well?
He had jetpack. He had an eco suit.
Oh, well, here's what's really worrying.
Was he the inspiration for Kung Fury by any chance?
A lot of cynical people on Reddit have been saying that perhaps they're going to take some of the Nazi experimental weapons.
There were some memes about jetpack confirmed, because there was actually experimental jetpacks around the time.
Would you be disappointed if they had a jetpack?
I would.
I'd actually feel really like...
It would
imagine
be pony.
Imagine if they went down the Wolfenstein route with it, like...
It's like Hitler and actual mech.
They might do that,
Wolfenstein did that well, though. For them to do it, it wouldn't work. But Wolfenstein did that so well.
Hopefully it's going to be traditional World War II, but we'll find out on Wednesday, I guess.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the have you guys seen the controversy around the cover?
The concept art,
The concept art with the guy
just one man
sort of
staring.
head down, holding some dog tags, and then Randy Pritchford of I think it's like Gearbox he works for.
How's it controversial? What's
so Gearbox or Randy Pritchard, I don't know what it is. There's a game called Brothers in Arms: Hell's Highway that had a similar guy on the cover.
Great
and
game.
what they're basically saying is that it's very similar.
One man staring outwards in a box cover.
Have you seen it?
Every single box cover.
No.
If you Google it and look at it, I was like that. I was like, oh
you
my
can
God,
sit
get
either
over
side.
it.
I'll show you here. Just move that around. That's what they're referring to. This picture here looks very, very similar.
What's the original?
I don't have the original to hand. You're going to have to Google it.
Yeah,
but it looks. You get the original up there, but they look very similar. He's right in that the sentiment. Whether or not they've directly stolen that,
I don't think they've stolen it, but it is.
But then how can you copyright? It's like saying, I've taken a picture of a child with a balloon.
There you go, Jack. There's the Brothers in Arms one.
Yeah, so do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Can you see the sentiment, at least, I suppose?
Good old Randy, anyway.
It just has them similarities. The hands are crossed over, covering the lower half of the face. There's dog tags in hand.
No, actually, you're quite right. It's almost...
I was like you, man. I saw it and I was like, oh, God, people on Reddit just being stupid. But actually, it's pretty... they're pretty similar. But
Co-op story. That's another one to come out of it, boys.
Is it real? Is that real?
Yes.
I love co-op.
Yeah, so they've said that you'll be able to jump in. I think that's a great idea. That's really lacking, to be honest with you, a co-op story.
I think. Do you know what would be fucking amazing? Right. This is crazy and this is out there. But think about games like Watch Dogs and that. You know, like that seamless integration.
Yeah.
Well, just imagine you was playing the game at the same time as your friend, and then it just syncs your games up. So you're just one of the soldiers down there, like running up with him. Like,
that's cool.
That would be awesome.
Let me ask you a big question, Jack.
Okay, ask away.
Will it be on the Nintendo Switch, and would you want it on the Nintendo Switch? Why is this even a question for people? Why is
have
this
to fit it on that little micro SD card?
Oh, here we go.
No,
not
to make it worse,
things.
Tom, if you bring this up again, I will kill you. I will smash it a bit.
It'll make
it doesn't
you eat
matter
5
how big
of them.
Cartridges.
I'd still be hungry. They're tiny.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, but they taste horrible.
It probably
That's
won't
true.
come out to the Switch. No.
I don't think it should. It's not a Switch game. Why would you put it on a Switch?
The next game that's coming out is Mario Go-Karts.
That would be great.
Which I'm going to bring out and play on that, and we can all play on that together next time we do this, because I think it'll be out by then.
Yeah, we should do one where we play together.
But I don't think this game, and probably quite a few of the really, really high end, which I think this is probably going to be.
It's going to be hard to fit on.
Put in some high end.
It shouldn't be on a Switch anyway. It's not going to work on that format.
No.
I mean, but it's been 10 years since they last did something to do with World War sort of 1 and 2. So I really hope they capture that magic there before. Sorry, what do you want to say, Chris?
I really want to just say this quickly, that in terms of this reveal that's happening this week, I want to say what I hope that they don't do, which I know that they're probably going to.
What do you think they're going to do?
Me off. They're gonna hype everyone up. They're gonna get everyone ready for this reveal, and then what they're gonna do is they're just gonna show like a fucking
trailer.
A trailer, no gameplay whatsoever.
They
and
need
I always
to show
find
some
that
gameplay.
such a fucking like.
Is that going to be your prediction for what's going to happen tonight, which is when people are going to listen to this?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
And I, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I guarantee we've all been built up. We're hyping. We're looking forward to seeing what's behind the cover, and all we're going to get is a fucking video, like pre-rendered, like no gameplay.
I reckon that because I watched recently, just a YouTube video came up, and it was a trailer for the last Call of Duty multiplayer, and in that, like, you could do like these emotes where like you make it rain and stuff like this, and you like, do like pistols with your gun, and also pull out a Zippo lighter and flick it to activate like a superpower. And I'm like, I bet they do that in World War II. Like, I bet they make it like rain like like German
Rations.
poundage, like ration cards, and just like
Deutschmark, reigning Deutschmark. Have you heard the rumour, Jack, as well?
I
That
hope it's not a douchebag game. I just hope it's not a douchebag game, because making it rain in a game just makes it sound like a douchebag. What's the rumour?
the rumour is that the main story you play is Tom Cruise, and you're running through and you're helping to save the Church of Scientology.
About damn time. What are you talking about?
I'm just doing what you do every time when you make up some ridiculous fucking rumour.
I don't make up rumours. All the things I say are true.
Okay.
Yeah?
No, that's not true.
That is true. Alright, I think we're rounding up now, aren't we?
Oh, whoa! What are you doing? It's my job to round it up.
I'm just looking at the time and just saying it's time to round it up.
It's time to people start getting tired, and Frank Smith will start messaging us and saying, "Well, you've taken an hour. An hour is too long in my smart car."
Don't slag off my friend on your podcast, you cheeky bitch.
He's my friend as well.
No,
Leave it alone.
I don't think he likes
Love
it
you,
much.
Frank.
We love you, Frank. This is dedicated to you and your memory.
Might have to bleep out his last name. It might be too easy for people to find him.
I think there'll be others in the world. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Once again, we really appreciate you spending the time to come and listen to us, and us coming through your ears on the train.
Coming through your ears.
Chorley FM. So go and check out our website, digitaliscapism.co.uk. If you don't, you're a loser. Go and check out our Twitter, _podcast. Go and check out Instagram, see pictures of Jack in bed. And go and head to iTunes. And I swear to God, if you don't subscribe and review, Tom will have a very good day. See you later.
Thanks for joining us, Tom.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.